Before I lived in Rochester, I lived for 3 years in Washington, D.C. And while I was there, I made a lot of friends. One of my best friends was an interpreter for the deaf, and his partner was deaf, and I met a lot of deaf people. This kind of plays it later. So I was having a great time. Life was good. The last time I shared, actually, I talked about a breakup that I had when I was in D.C. Well, after the breakup, you start to date again. So there was this guy that I met, and we were going to go on a date, and we were going on our first date. And this was in the summertime in Washington, D.C., and we decided to, I lived in an area called above Adams Morgan, so I lived at the top of this big hill. Any of you who are around D.C. might know it, but I lived in this big apartment building, and we met to go on our first date. So he meets me at the apartment, and we were going to walk around, and there's this one street that goes all the way down to the restaurant district, and the significant thing about this street in the area is that it used to be the Embassy Road. There used to be a lot of embassies there. So this particular street, for whatever reason, for about a block and a half, there weren't any houses. Like, there were buildings, but there were fences and nothing. It just was a straight shot for like a block and a half of just, you know, trees and stuff, but no people, nothing. Anyway, we go to leave to go to dinner, and it's probably 7 o'clock at night, and the sun, you know, in the summertime when it's late, you know, early evening, and the sun is just starting to get in that right place, and it's all warm and cozy, whatever. We're walking around, and we're just chit-chatting, and this is, again, first date. We've never been out before. We barely talk. So we're walking down the street, and all of a sudden, from behind me, I feel somebody grab my shirt, like behind me, like grab the back of my shirt and pull it. Now, this is where the deaf thing plays in. If any of you have had any experience with deaf people are very, very, very physical people. So if they're joking around with you, a deaf person very often will like attack you or, you know, check you, or they're very, you know, boisterous people. And I happen to have some friends that lived in the building, and I thought, my first thought was, Alex, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, why are you? And I turn around, and there is a tall, lean, very, very dark-skinned young man who has my shirt in his hand and a knife in his hand. And he's got his hand back like this, and he's got a knife about this long. Back here, he's got my shirt, and he says, give me your fucking money. Give me your fucking money right now. And I will put this too, I'm not trying to be like, I'm some sort of master, Zen master, I'm so calm. But I was totally calm. And we're standing there, you have to understand. We're on a street, it's daylight, folks. It is like it would be 4 in the afternoon right now. And and we're standing there. He's got my shirt, he's got the knife, and I immediately was like, all right. Opened up my wallet, it's like, what do you want? So just give me the cash, give me the cash right now, just give me the fucking cash. So, I open up my wallet, I take it out, and he turns to the guy that I'm with. Again, this is a walk to a first dinner date. He pulls out his wallet, and he pulls it out, and he opens it up like this, and he goes just like this. He opens it up, and he pulls the thing out, and the guy again, imagine I'm there, there's fist, knife. He opens his wallet, and he goes, like he's pausing. Like he pauses, he goes to take it out, and he like pauses. And the guy twists my shirt, pulls his hand back further, and says, you tell your friend to be a fucking money, or I will stab you. And I'm standing there, looking at the guy, and all I can do is go, so he takes his cash out, I have my cash, and I would guess this isn't the first time this young man had done this particular thing, because the second the money's out, he didn't want credit cards, he wanted cash. He just literally just went and took off. I mean, like, immediately, I'm not even exaggerating, it was that fast. So now, we're standing there, and I'm standing there like, okay, this just happened. He's sitting there muttering, oh, motherfucker, son of a bitch, motherfucker, and he's going on. And as we're standing there, I guess for uncertainty, it was like, I wasn't quite certain what he'd do. I was a little stunned. This had never happened before. And as we're standing there, these two women are coming down from the sidewalk, and they've been walking. And I will say, these are two very soft of color. And as they walked up, they were pushing baby carriages. And she comes up to me, and she's walking up, and she's like, excuse me. I said, what? She goes, I said, excuse me. And I stopped, and I said, I'm sorry, we just got mugged. And she pushes past me, and she goes, then you best call the police. So, we went inside and called the police, and the police put us in cars, separate cars, drove us out to a group of random people who were nowhere near the people that the guy that mugged us. Do any of these look familiar? No, they don't. They finished, dropped us back off in front of the apartment building. We still haven't gone on our date. So then the uncertainty, point number 2, is simply that, do we go on this date? And he's like, what do you want to do? I'm like, honest to God, I'm hungry. So anyway, we go off, we go to the restaurant, if you can believe this, and now we're sitting in a restaurant in Adams Morgan, trying to have a meal. The entire time, he's just sitting there muttering about that motherfucker. And I'm just there thinking, I'm never going on a second date with this man. That's it.